So it's summertime, of course, and when I think summer, I think watermelon, I think swimming, I think a lot of things, but whole point is I think watermelon. And usually we throw the rind away, but I'm figuring times are hard. We need to be healthy, and ironically enough, most of the good stuff inside of watermelon rind, as you can see, I cut it up right here. Most of the good stuff is in the rind. Not only is this good for you, it's gonna get you going, you know, and I think we all could use some get the going, you know. So the first thing I am gonna start with is what to do with the juice. And most of my videos are going to be about fermentation because that's what I do and that's what's healthy. So we're going to start with that, and I'm just going to start by stuffing all of this watermelon. My hands are clean, and even if they weren't, this is my house, my problem, right? But we're going to put all of this in here. I already cut it up. You don't have to worry about the seeds and such, all of that stuff, because after this finishes fermenting, I'm gonna go ahead and strain it through anyway. So don't get caught up in trying to seed your watermelon. The whole point is to make sure you get one that's really good, it's really fresh. Taste it before you get into this process, because sometimes you find watermelons in the store and it just tastes like gritty mush. This one, however, is not gritty mush. Second ingredient is fresh mint leaves, okay? And I'm gonna put these in here, right here. And you're probably thinking, don't put that in there whole like that. But no, I wouldn't. I'm gonna crush the watermelon and the mint together to get all the juices going. I have my little handy dandy little mushy tool right here. Normally I use it for mashed potatoes, but today we're using it for watermelon. And so you can see what I'm doing here. Let me scoop my little fishy out the way. Alright, so I'm just gonna mush it in there really good. I'm not trying to puree it. I'm not trying to work out on it. I just want to smell that mint. That's what you want to smell. You want to smell that mint extract and the oils mixing in there, so that when your process is done, you're getting adequate mint flavor. But I didn't want to put too much mint in it. I only put, I'd say, like, not them squished together, but maybe like a whole handful. I have little hands. I had to stop for a little bit because I didn't have enough watermelon. But I have enough watermelon now, so I put a little bit more watermelon, a little bit more mint in there. I used 2 of the small watermelons. And so far I used about, I know I used a whole 1 and a half. So that's how much is in here. The size of those little watermelons, the ones they say it's seedless, but then you see those little white little things in there, and they're obviously seeds, you know. But anyway, so I got that going, and the very next step is sugar. I'm going to put about 2 cups of sugar in here. Got there in there. I'm just gonna mix it up a bit. Make sure I get it mixed up pretty good. And then I'm gonna top it off with a little bit of spring water. You want to make sure that you use non-chlorinated water. Unfortunately, water from your faucet has chlorine in it, so you do not want to use that. Now there's a way to turn that water from your faucet to make it dechlorinated. If you set it out, I think for 12 to 24 hours and you start seeing the bubbles, it'll like dechlorinate itself. But me personally, I would just rather just buy some spring water or some water that I can trust, because that tap water is something else. Okay, trust that. It's fluoride, all kinds of icky stuff in that. So I'm gonna put it up right here. Put that in there. And this here is whey. Okay? If you wonder what is whey? That's the same stuff in protein powder. Yes, but this is not exactly that. This, if you've ever bought fresh yogurt, or I guess it doesn't have to be fresh. I don't technically know the definition of fresh yogurt because I've never had like fresh yogurt, you know. But if you buy yogurt from the store and you notice when you open it and you put it back in the fridge and then you go back to it in a couple of days, you know how it has that thin layer of like this yellow liquid on it? That stuff right there, that's whey. Whey is the yeast activator that's in like cheese and stuff like that. It's natural. It basically comes from milk, and that's basically like the lactobacillus. I think lactobacillus. I think that's the way you say it. If I didn't say it right, somebody correct me in the comments. But that's the stuff that's good for, you know, your urinary tract, good for not having yeast infection. Women deal with that, especially if you wear a swimsuit in the summer too long and you're sweating, you're gonna have some problems later on. But if you don't want those problems and you don't like yogurt, you can make yourself a lacto fermented soda of any kind. We're using watermelon today, but you can mix this with anything. It usually takes, this is about, I don't know, like 1.5 gallons, something like that. But I'm going to add a little bit of this to this just to get it activated quicker. So it's basically adding some of my yeast to it. Now you have some people, they will use a bread yeast packet, but that's not the kind of yeast I'm going for. I want a yeast that's going to be beneficial for me and my body. Some people just naturally have higher acidic bodies. And if you have a higher acidic body, you just naturally produce more acids. Like maybe it's because you eat a lot of sugar, or maybe it's just the way your body is made. Whatever the situation is, sometimes it can cause problems with hormone levels, yeast infection, whether that be a southern yeast infection or yeast in the mouth, yeast on the skin. Some people, especially when they sweat, they get it in some other areas. I don't know where they get it. I don't get it there. But the whole point is you want to put the kind of yeast you know that's going to help your body. Now, watermelon naturally has its own yeast. So I'm not going to put a whole lot of this because this already has some yeast. I want a more natural process going on. Okay, so I already got this mixed up, and I'm gonna add not a full cup, not even a full cup. I'm putting this like half full, so I'll say like half a cup to this. Okay, and even though watermelon has its own yeast properties in it, its own live bacteria, it does not have the same kind that milk has. So if you're looking for a certain kind of probiotic in your juice that you're making or your sodas that you're making, you might want to do a little research and read about what the different kind of bacteria do, how it's going to help you. And this just helps me, you know. So I got that all mixed up. You want to leave a bit of space in there. I still have some room here. And Yeah, I still have some room left in there. And the next thing I'm going to do is you want to make sure that none of your content is not like submerged into the water, okay? I use the same kind of water in this just to weigh it down, just in case it opens, in case there's a hole, in case there's a puncture of some kind that I don't know, didn't see. You never know what's going on sometimes. And then I'll just close that there, tuck it a bit. And just set this on top of it. Now some people use the weights if you ferment things often or you make sodas. Some people use like the little clear weights, or you can use whatever works for you in your container, what it's gonna allow. Okay, so I'm just gonna set it, leave it for about 3-4 days. It's gonna depend, because if your house gets hotter and it's summer, and I live in Texas, so it's gonna be hot, it doesn't matter how long I keep that AC on. That AC is on 24/7, but it still gets warm in here because the sun does what it wants. Okay, so you're gonna want to keep checking that every now and again, and you're gonna get some carbonation. You're gonna start seeing it coming from the bottom and up to the top. You might get a light foam, a light white foam, and because this is red, or it might be pink. If you get any kind of yeast that's any other color than the color of what you already have, or it's not white, it's gone. You need to let that go. You know, you just start over. But if you keep it covered, you want to make sure that your containers are well sanitized, then you won't have any of those problems. Okay? Okay, you guys, so we still got all this watermelon rind left, right? We still got this. And even though I live here in the South, y'all, I have never tried watermelon rind anything. Well, actually, I think when I was a little girl at my granny's house one time, I think I tried something watermelon rind. I was like, oh my goodness, no, I don't like it, you know, because you know, children have different kind of palate. Even though this here helps for a good libido, you know, get your life spicy again, you know, even though it helps for that, that is not my main reason for it. Actually, it's for high blood pressure, okay? So that same kind of, what's it called again? I want to make sure I say it right. I'm going to check my phone. Y'all going to be laughing at me. Citrulline. Citrulline is very good for your heart health, and it's also good for your arteries, like any blockages or anything that's going. I guess that's why it helps in the bedroom, you know, because if you got something that, I don't know, if it's not right, you know, your whole situation, you know, it's going to clear that for you, I guess. I suppose. I don't have one of those. Well, I'm just saying, you know, I'm assuming, you know, I think that's how it works. But anyway, let me get back to this. So I got a pickling spice. It's by McCormick, but it's in there. And I also picked up a little thing of dill weed as well. Now, it's smart to go ahead and put this in the bottom. I'm going to put it in my hand first as I shake it out, because I noticed that there's a whole lot of one spice at the top and other stuff on the bottom. Okay. Alright, put that in there. I ain't got time for all that. And then some dill. Now, as far as how much I'm using, I'm just eyeballing. I know I like dill, so I'm gonna put some more in there. Put some more of that, okay? And I put a little bit of spice. That's how much, right there. That's where we're at. I put that in the bottom, so it's not as likely to float up to the top, even though it will, because it's, you know, little bitty pieces. And then I'm gonna put my watermelon rind right on top of that. Okay. I figure watermelon rinds taste like pickles when they're fermented, and they're healthier than pickles, then I'll just make my own. That way I can control my salt content. You can't trust everything in the grocery store, y'all. You just really can't, because if you trust those boxes, you just ruining your life. I'm sorry. I don't care if you don't agree. Once you get my age, you're gonna find out the truth, okay? So with this here, all I'm gonna add to it is water and salt, which is exactly the same process I do with my crevasse. Okay, so I'm putting 1 tablespoon of salt in this water right here. Same process with this. You want to make sure that you use spring water, unchlorinated water, so that it does not affect your fermentation process. Okay. You just want to fill that up right there. So we got that all done. I need another bag, sweetheart. Definitely need another one. See,
yes, ma'am.
What I was hoping for is that I would have cut up enough of this so I could fit it in tight. If you can fit your watermelon in here tight and you pour your water in, it'll actually stay together and stay under the water line on its own, okay? Unfortunately, I didn't do that. So I have to cover it up just like I did this one so that my process won't be affected. I'm going to just put a little water in the bag right here. Right there. Zip that close. And then just set this top here on top. It's not on there tightly because it needs to breathe for the fermentation process, okay? And then we got this here, the watermelon juice, because it's summertime and who does not want a watermelon soda? So I will get back to you guys as this whole situation processes so I can talk you through it and let you see what's going on with the days as they pass. All right, bye-bye. Okay, so this is day 1 of the fermented watermelon. As you can see, all of the top here has separated and it's gotten a whole lot lighter in color. I'm watching it very carefully because this is actually the second batch. The first batch, it got way too fermented and I did not like the taste of it at all. And so we redid it again. And this is the top of it. It had actually come all the way up to the top and we had to take some of it out, but since it's compacted, it didn't really cause a whole lot of problems. That's it here. If you look really closely, I don't know if I can pick it up. There is a little bit of carbonation that's already happened in here. So I'm debating about actually bottling it today because I don't want it to get too far on me. Okay, you guys, I am back with my fermented watermelon treats. So this one right here, it's been 2 weeks that it's been all mixed up. Before I even open it, I can already smell it. It smells like all of the pickling spices that I put in it. Let's see, let's try that just a bit. I tried it before, I didn't care for it too much. Let's see. Okay, I have to say that it's actually better than it was when I tried it at week 1. It was not as tart and I did not like the pickling spices. I think it's the I'm not sure what it is. The cardamom, it like super kicked up. But this is actually, that's actually really good. It tastes exactly like a pickle. If you gave it to someone, they just assume that it was a pickle. So it's pretty good. When I tasted it about a week ago, I was already ready to throw it away. I was just like, oh no, oh my goodness, no. She is not going to be able to eat that. But I think I like it, y'all. I think I like it. So I'm going to put this over here to the side right here, you know. And we're going to move on to this. Now, this has not been sitting for 2 weeks. This has just been a couple of days. And this is not the first batch that I actually made on video, because I finished the first batch and I thought that maybe because I live in Texas, it gets really, really, really hot here, you guys. And I thought that maybe they over processed, and I did not care for the taste at all. But I'm gonna try it again, y'all. I'm gonna try. I completely redid it. I did it just like I did in the video, but I watched it. And instead of leaving it on my cabinet for 2 days, I only left it for 1. What caught me off guard is, in the first video, you see me add the whey to pick up the fermentation process. That was a mistake, okay? That was not a good thing. It will not be added in the next video. Or I might leave it, because if I don't like this, then you guys can learn from my mistake. Not everything is gonna work fermented. This is what I've learned from fermenting watermelon. I looked online, I looked on Pinterest, I checked other people's videos, and there are other recipes for this exact thing. They did exactly what I did, and no one sees the results of those. So if you had ever seen a fermented watermelon drink video, a fermented natural soda video, and you did not see or hear them talk about the ending, welcome to this video, because this did not go as expected. So I tried it again. This is only 1 day process, 1 day in the fridge. The first day it was still kind of pink. The second day, as you can see, some of the sediment is here at the bottom. It's still red, and at the top you see just a little bit there. So I'm gonna try it again. Oh, look at that. Oh, I'm closing that. Oh, that's scary, y'all. That's scary. I'm gonna need me a bowl. Wait a minute now. All right, she is back. I'm back. Okay, I'm gonna try this again. All right. Already, I do not like the way it smells, y'all. It don't smell good to me at all. It smells like a, I don't even know, but it does not smell good. I can tell you that. I can tell you that right now. Let's see. Let's just get this bottle open. It's gonna flow out on me. I don't want it to. Don't ruin my tablecloth, Lord. Oh, please. Okay. All right, it's open. Just wipe that off there. And we're gonna try it. Let's see. Oh, it does not smell good. It does not. Y'all, I'm a little scared. I'm a little scared. It's got some good carbonation. It looks absolutely delicious, but it kind of smells like Spam. If you've ever had Spam, that's what it smells like. Like, I am, oh, you guys, I'm a little scared. Let me see here. Let me see. Ooh. Ooh, Lord. Okay. Okay, y'all, I'm actually surprised. I'm surprised. The reason why I'm surprised is because this round, without the whey, does not taste as half as bad as the first round that I made where I added the whey. This right here is just the process with the watermelon, with the sugar, with the mint. That's it. Nothing else, because I found out with the first one that watermelon has a whole lot of its own yeast. So if you're going to ferment watermelon, don't add nothing to it. It's got it all in there already. The first one was like super tangy and it tastes rotten. This one smells like Spam, strangely, but it does not taste, it doesn't taste rotten, which is a good thing. It actually tastes pretty good. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. Would I drink this the way I'm drinking my other ones? Because right now I have me a peach one, I have a strawberry blueberry, I have a plum, and we are drinking those like crazy and they are delicious. I will not, okay? Not this one, not me. I will not sit around and drink this. Now, for someone that loves fermented drinks, you have some people that like fermented drinks and they like that tangy kind of fermented flavor, which is what this tastes like. It still tastes like watermelon, but to me it tastes like when you're trying to, when you get like right there in the watermelon, right there by that rind, and it gets extra tangy like right there on that end. If you like that flavor, then this right here is for you, okay? This is for you. But this is not for me, okay? Because I cannot keep bringing something that smells like Spam like that up to my mouth if it's not Spam. I don't even eat Spam like that because it's too much salt. But anyway, yeah, she will not be drinking this, okay? So I'm gonna show you guys. We're gonna move this out the way, and I'm gonna clean out my bottles because I got others. Okay, so not drinking this. You can drink this. You may love this. It's still got all the good stuff in it. Still got all the yeast in there. Still all the probiotics gonna help your gut, your liver, all that good stuff is gonna be good to you if that's what you want. Now, if you make this because you love watermelon and you're just like, oh, I don't know, I just want the health benefits of it, this would be excellent if you mixed it in watermelon juice or if you mixed it into a watermelon mixer. But we're just gonna go traditional, the way this probably should have went, you know. This right here is just watermelon juice. It's not fermented, it's fresh, y'all. Fresh, and it has been strained and everything. Put a little bit of that in there, a couple of mint leaves. If you want to get the best out of them, just roll them a bit in your hand. Put that in there. Put just a bit of sugar. Not a whole lot, because I don't want a whole lot. Mix that up a bit. And drop in a few pieces of ice. Now that's good. You can't go wrong with fresh. If you want a little bit more, you want to make sure your body is properly absorbing all of that good nutrients, then you want to go with this. But if you can't just swallow it down just because it's good for you like me, then you want to go with this. And let me see something. Let's just see. Let's just test the waters a bit. Okay? Let's get a little chemistry, you know? Let's see. That's not a word. Don't say it. Don't say that to your friends, y'all. Okay, let's see. That actually made it better. So, if you should decide that you want to go this way and get your nutrients, but you want it to taste good like this, then just mix the two, and that'll work for you. Now, with this one right here that I had already made, it's pretty good. I'm thinking about cutting it up a little bit more and actually making a relish out of it. I think that would be excellent. The only thing I did not care too much about with this one is because of the fermentation process in this one, these pieces are not crispy. So I want to give you guys an alternative to this here if you want that, because like I said, I made this for high blood pressure because I have high blood pressure. I am in the moderate early stages of high blood pressure, but I'm taking care of it now so I can live through the rest of it and then not get as bad. So I'm trying different alternatives. So with this here, I like this. I'm probably gonna turn it into a relish. But if you're someone who loves pickles the way that I do, because I love them, but you can't have them because of all that salt, but you still want that crisp when you bite into it, like when you bite one of those I think that's called Vlasic pickles. I think that's how you say it. I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to show you how to make one with some snap to it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I want to put flavors I want in here this time. Last time I put in this, oh, that's not it. That was a bay leaf. But I'm not even putting the bay leaf this time. This time I'm putting in garlic. I am a garlic lover, and it's good, and it's good for high blood pressure as well. I'm going to put in some dill, and just dill and garlic, nothing else. And I made the pieces a whole lot bigger this time. Actually, my husband did a really good job of cutting this up while I was playing the video game. So I'm just going to layer these in here. When I get to the top part, then I'm going to start squeezing pieces in to fit. Okay, so we got that like that right there. This is the container they came out of. What I'm using is the apple cider vinegar with the mother still in it. That mother in there is basically the fermented byproducts, which is just like what this made on its own. So I'm getting the tangy flavor with the crisp here because it already has its own yeast in the vinegar, and this here, it made its own yeast. So these are probably not the same kind of yeast. I'm pretty sure they aren't. There's so many different types, but they're all really good for your gut, for your liver, and for absorbing the nutrients that you take into your body. So I'm going to use this right here since I already had it. I'm going to pour just a little bit in here. I'm not talking about the measurement so much because I'm just using this container right here just to mix my salt. This is about a tablespoon of salt right here. I'm going to put that in there. Just mix it up and add it into that. Since all the mother floated down to the bottom, I shake it up a little bit, and then we're going to fill the container. I have another bottle. That up to the top, put the jar on it, and then I'll be leaving it. Hey you guys, we have reached the end of my fermented watermelon treats. Okay, so we have this one here, we've got this one here. Like I said, if you up for that, if that's your ball game, you go right ahead. If not, you just want something refreshing for the summer, you go with this here. I'm gonna definitely empty these bottles out. I thought it was so cool though when I opened it, how it mixed all together and got pink again. But that's beside the point. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys are out there living happy and healthy despite what's going on in our world right now. If you have any questions or concerns, or I don't know, anything you want to ask me, you can go ahead and drop that down in the comments. I'll do as much research as I can and I'll get back to you, and I'll share with you my personal experience with my fermentation process. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you like. Check out my Instagram. I have an Instagram. It's the same name as my channel, so you can check that out as well. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Bye bye.